Hello, Professor Toybox here along with Olaf, and today we're going to finish my Fantasyland toy box. But before I do, I want to let you know what to expect over the next month or so, because I'm going to be taking a few weeks off to enjoy the nice spring weather. So this Friday, I will air my next Toy Box Racing episode, as usual, and then next week the schedule will change a bit. On Monday and Wednesday, I'm going to continue my Toy Box Racing series in order to finish up Radiator Springs Raceway before I go on vacation. Then next Friday, on Good Friday, I'll upload the preview trailer for my next series, which will give you something to look forward to while I'm gone. When I return, my schedule will resume with the next episode of Toy Box Racing on Friday, April 23rd. I'll be racing the Morro Bay Speedway, which is probably the most creative of all the courses that I built. My new series will start on Monday, April 26th, airing on Mondays and Wednesdays, and at this point my schedule will be back to what it normally is. And once that new series wraps up at the end of May, I'll return to my Disneyland series and do the next toy box, which will probably be Tomorrowland. But don't hold me to that. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and finish up Fantasyland. And I'm starting in Main Street, USA, and we need to place a locator out here. But before I do, I'm going to come over here behind the scenes and push my reset button, which will take out all of the Mickeys for the Hidden Mickeys game, because I don't want those to be in the toy box when I save it. And then we're going to come up here to the castle. And I want to place the locator for the toy box door inside Fantasyland. And I want to place it so that the player will return to this point when they come through that tunnel. So I'm going to drop that there. And I want to make sure that little blue dot is facing forward, so I need to rotate it that way. Alright, and then we'll edit the properties. And for the door destination tag, since this is the first toy box that I've built off of the hub, we'll use the tag number 1 for that door. And that's all I need to do today in this toy box. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and save my toy box. And then I will go through the tunnel and meet you in Fantasyland in just a moment. So here I am in my Fantasyland toy box, and of course the level starter has caused all of the rides to begin. But let's go ahead and start by opening up the editor and taking a look at the memory meter on the right. With all of the rides running and all of the Dumbos and the carousel horses, you can see where my memory meter is on the right. It's getting very, very full. And as you can see, there's just not much left. So I need to monitor this meter very closely and be very careful about adding in the final building pieces, because I can't add very much. I also need to leave room in the memory for 5 toy box doors for Peter Pan's Flight and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and Small World, as well as the entrances to Frontierland and Tomorrowland over there. So I got to make sure I don't fill up this memory all the way. So what I'm going to do is come over here, and I can only take that meter up a little bit, so I really need all of that extra space that's there right now. Let's go ahead and stop everything, and that will take the activity meter back down. As you can see, it's dropping, and that will allow me to place some additional building pieces. And I'm not going to place very much. Again, I can't afford to do that. But what we're going to do is basically the Small World facade is all that's left. And as you can see, I don't have the memory to be able to build the entire Small World facade here. So we're just going to put kind of a token piece in here to represent it. So I'm going to come back up to my terrain drawer, and I'm going to go over to the right, and we're looking for this block. Oops, actually that block. same size, half the height. And I'm going to drop this in here up next to that piece on the left, and as close as I can get it up here like that so that there's not a gap underneath that block. And we'll drop that there. And I've already put down my Rapunzel's theme on here so that I can set that as the theme for this block. And this is the only terrain block I'm putting down today. So I don't really need to set the theme, I just need to apply that. Alright, and that puts a nice little backdrop there for the toy box and kind of seals up that area. Alright, the piece that's going to take the most memory is going to be the set piece for Small World. And I'll come over here and pick that up. And I'm not sure if this is available in the toy box by default or whether you need the Small World power discs in order to unlock that. It might be available in the toy store for purchase. I'm just not quite sure. So I'm just letting you know that I'm not sure. So we're going to center that right there up against that block like that. And you'll notice there is a gap between the building and that block, and that can't really be helped. As you can see, the memory meter took a little bit of a jump when I dropped that in. So it's getting dangerously full. Alright, so with that in there, the only thing we need to put in now are just a very few plants. And let's go ahead and start. I think I might be able to put it down over here without bumping into that one. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pick up this corner, and we're going to put this down like this up against the edge of the terrain. Yeah, I can put that in there and it won't bump up against that. And I want to slide this back just a little bit because when I theme this, it's going to stretch over to the left. So it doesn't need to go too far. We're going to put one of these large pieces back here in this corner with the sprig, facing that way. And one more of these pieces back in here just to kind of finish this off a little bit. I want to orient it like that and out away from that wall and kind of centered in this space. And I think that will do nicely. Alright, and I think that's about all we want to do with that. The last thing I want to do, I've got some of these lamp posts over here, and I'd like to continue those around that other side. So I'm going to pick this up and put it down. That's the Main Street floral lamp. So we're going to come back around over here, and I want to kind of evenly space these along here. And so what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and drop one. I'm just kind of looking at my notes here. All right, so we'll put one of these here, like this. The next one is going to sit right there like that. And then the next one is going to sit down here like that. And that puts the nice finishing touch on that end of the Storybook Land canal boats, so it kind of matches this side. And let's see where our memory is. Yeah, it's getting kind of close. I don't think we want to risk anything more. So let's go ahead and style these. And again, we're going to use the Briar Ridge trees. So we'll set the theme for that, or the style for that. I'll go ahead and apply the same thing to this piece. And we're going to do the same thing for that piece. And there we go. There's our Small World facade, and eventually we'll put a toy box door in front of that that will lead into the Small World toy box. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start up the rides, and we'll see how much memory we actually have left. Because right now, come out of the spark mode, what you see in the editor is a bit deceptive there, when what you see on that meter on the right. We have to start everything up in order to see what we really have. We'll give it a moment to start up. Yeah, as you can see, that's getting really close. So we can't afford to put anything else in there. We've got 5 toy box doors that we need to add, and that's going to pretty much fill up that memory. So that's about all we can do. But there we go. The rides are in. They're all going. We have the teacups, the Storybook Land canal boats. We now have the Small World facade over here. So yeah. Okay, one thing that I forgot is to set the door destination tag on the toy box door going back. So let's go ahead and head over here and take care of that. So under the properties, we want to set the destination locator tag to 1 to match the locator that we put back out in the original toy box. And that will allow us to return through this tunnel and end up where we expect to end up out there. And that's it. Fantasyland is now completed. I hope you've enjoyed this build, and if so, please leave a comment to let me know. We'll return to Disneyland again in a couple of months, and as I said at the start of the video, I'll probably be doing Tomorrowland next. That was the second most requested area of Disneyland in my recent poll. Eventually, we'll return here and work on the toy boxes for Peter Pan's Flight, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and Small World, but I think I want to build the other major areas of the park first. As always, please like my video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy Disney Infinity and you like my toy box creations. Have a great day!